Hey Richard, are you awake right now? I wanted to let you know that Jake and I are planning to get married.
Oh, so you're finally getting married, huh? Marriage is a wonderful journey. It provides you with a lifelong partner to support and share life's challenges.
I hope to have a relationship as wonderful as the one you have with your wife. Also, I'd like him to meet you all before the wedding. Can you spare some time to meet him on your next day off?
Well, I should be able to make some time to see him on my next day off. But before I meet him, could you share his age and occupation?
Why do you want to know that?
Well, I'm transitioning to a prestigious company this year, and I'm curious about his professional background. You know I'll be joining a high-end company, right?
Yes, I heard you're transferring to a well-known brokerage firm. It's quite reputable, isn't it?
That's correct. My new job comes with a yearly salary of $150,000. That's roughly $75 per hour. So, about Jake, I'd be more willing to meet him if he's equally successful.
Huh? Isn't that a bit rude to judge someone based on their occupation? As your older brother, I should meet your future husband, regardless of his job. Please don't speak like that and find some time to meet him.
Think about it for a moment. Meeting someone who doesn't have a similar level of success to me seems pointless. Even if he's marrying my younger sister. My time is valuable. I have bigger things to focus on now that I'm with a top-ranking company.
What the heck?
Don't you see? When you work with high achievers in a well-established company, there's no need to meet people of lower status. So, if he's not on my level, I may not be able to spare the time.
I understand. But you've reached the top, so you don't need to worry about appearances. But don't worry, my fiancé is doing quite well for himself. He inherited his family's farmhouse and all the land that goes with it.
You're kidding, right?
There's no need to worry about his success. Because the vegetables he cultivates on that land are exceptionally delicious and healthy. Many people want to buy his produce, making him one of the most respected farmers in the agricultural community.
Seriously? You must be joking. What does it even mean to be a top-ranking farmer? I mean, I mentioned that I only want to meet someone on my level, right?
What do you mean now?
Farming is one of the least valued jobs around. A farmer, no matter how popular their produce is, can't be labeled as doing great. Growing vegetables is a simple job, not something to be proud of.
Why are you saying this?
I just can't believe you're marrying someone who works on a farm. With your looks, you could do much better than a farmer. It's a shame. You'll have to get used to living a life covered in mud and manure, I guess.
Cynthia, I just heard from Richard about what's happening. It seems you're planning to marry a farmer.
Yes, but Richard doesn't want to meet him. Because he believes they're from different backgrounds. I hate to ask, but can you try talking to him for me?
What? Why me?
He's being stubborn about this. Things will only get worse if he doesn't meet my fiancé before the wedding. He's made disrespectful comments about not wanting to meet a farmer. And that's not acceptable. So, I'd appreciate it if you could mediate for us. We could meet over drinks or dinner to ease the tension between Richard and Jake.
I'm sorry, but you're asking something I can't do.
What? Why not? We'll cover your expenses as a thank you.
It's not about that. I'm also not thrilled about meeting a farmer. It may sound bad, but please stop insisting on this.
What? So, it's not just my brother, you don't want to meet my fiancé either?
I have no issue with your marriage. It's just that your fiancé and our lifestyles and incomes are vastly different. We don't want to be associated with someone from a different class.
Are you serious?
Richard just joined a prestigious brokerage firm, earning $150,000 annually. I've been promoted to a leadership role in my long-term company. In other words, we're a powerful and wealthy couple. It's unthinkable for us to meet a farmer working in the countryside. Even though it's our duty as a family, I don't see us bridging this gap.
Hold on a moment. Are you really saying he's low class?
Well, who else are we talking about?
You need to take that back immediately. Calling him poor and dirty, saying he has a low-class job. This is not just rude to him but also to me.
Is it rude to tell the truth? How much does a farmer like him make annually? Is he making enough selling vegetables to even get married? He's hardly contributing to society.
What?
Richard and I work for international companies, contributing at the highest level. We invest around $10,000 in the economy annually by buying shares in other companies.
So, you think you're superior to Jake because you buy stocks? Don't you realize that growing food for people is more significant for the world?
Don't compare his $1 vegetables to our $10,000 worth of shares, okay? We contribute immeasurable amounts to the economy compared to him.
So, no matter what I say, you'll keep belittling him? I can't believe you're acting like Richard right now. I'm done. I've heard enough. If you both want to act like children, you don't need to meet him. I won't ask anymore.
That's fine with me.
Regardless of whether you want to meet him, please come to our wedding. I know you might avoid meeting him. But don't skip our wedding, a once-in-a-lifetime event for me.
Fine, we'll come to your wedding. Even if it's not the family event we hoped for.
Muriel, where are you guys right now? The wedding is about to start, but I can't find you. And Richard won't answer his phone. Did you run into any problems on your way here?
I'm sorry, Cynthia. We didn't encounter any issues. We're actually at the front of the wedding hall.
In that case, you should come inside soon. Go up to the front desk, and they will guide you to your seats. Jake is waiting to introduce himself to you both.
Well, can you pass a message to him for us? We won't be attending your wedding.
What?
I know this might seem disrespectful, but we've decided not to attend after all. We're heading straight back home.
Wait. Coming all the way to the wedding and then turning around to go home is quite surprising. Do you still think it's not worth it to see me get married to a farmer?
That's precisely it. That's what I wanted to convey.
You're both arrogant.
We made time to come to the wedding. But having your celebration in the countryside at an old reception hall isn't what we city folk want to experience. We'd feel uncomfortable sitting there for hours.
So, you won't join us for that reason? That's an embarrassing reason not to attend.
You should be embarrassed to have a wedding here. There's no way we'd set foot in there. Our shoes deserve better. Now, I've lost the desire to give you your wedding gift.
What?
We went out of our way to bring you a gift. We intended to give you some of our hard-earned money. But now, there's no point in giving any gifts to a farmer and his wife.
You don't have to force yourselves to give us gifts. It's odd for a couple with well-paying jobs to complain about giving money as a wedding gift.
We're not being stingy with our money. I wish you could understand. It's just that we worked hard for this money. So we don't want to give it to those who have no value.
So, Jake and I aren't worthy of receiving gifts because we're worthless?
Yes, but it's only for farmers like you. I'd hope you'd use the money for something nice. But I suppose you'd spend it on a tractor. Just thinking about it made me change my mind about giving you money as a gift.
I see what you're saying.
So, I'm sorry. I won't be giving gifts to loser farmers. We've decided not to attend anyone's wedding who isn't as successful as us.
Well, we can have this wedding without you.
Absolutely. We were thinking of checking out some tourist spots around here. But there's nothing we want to see in the countryside. It's unfortunate that some people choose to live in the middle of nowhere, playing in the mud. You'll regret being a farmer's wife.
Well, I'm sure you'll realize it soon.
Huh?
I get to live with the person I love. And I am able to take care of him by making delicious meals. And keeping the house clean while he is out working. But in terms of your everyday life, you lack the type of sensibility I have. Leaving you feeling disgusted by the idea of living a simple life like I will be. It's probably too late for you to do anything about what will come next. But hopefully you can try and stick with it as long as possible.
You need to slow down. What do you mean by bite my tongue?
You'll be able to understand that in no time. Anyways, the wedding is about to start, so I'll see you around. You and Richard have a safe trip home, okay?
Hey, Cynthia. What's going on here? My company just messaged me, saying my boss wants to meet me in person. And inform me about a work transfer to a remote rural location. Even worse, he wants me to work there alone.
Congratulations! You might be stuck in the middle of nowhere for the rest of your career. If you can't get back to the main office.
Stop joking and tell me what's happening. Is this related to what you mentioned earlier? Did you say something to my boss about me? What did you tell him? It's bizarre for my boss to suddenly ask me to transfer to a different office.
All I did was chat with your boss a bit at my wedding. I mentioned that one of his department heads seemed to lack an understanding of agriculture. I suggested it might be helpful to send her to a place where she could learn more, like a farm. I asked if he could do this as a wedding favor.
What? My boss attended your wedding? And you discussed me with him?
Yes, he did.
But my company is quite high class. How did my boss agree to attend a wedding in the countryside for a farmer like me?
It's quite surprising, isn't it? I didn't even invite him, but he came to our wedding anyway. He insisted on not missing it.
Really?
In fact, he used to buy vegetables from my husband frequently and inquired if he could start a company-level business relationship with him. So it seems your boss and Jake will collaborate. Also, your boss hadn't spoken to Jake in a while. So he took a day off from his busy schedule to personally congratulate us and bring a wedding gift. He momentarily stepped away from his work at your highly praised company to celebrate with us.
I can't believe this.
My husband was deeply touched by this. So he asked the staff to arrange a seat for your boss at the wedding, even though he wasn't initially invited. I'm still surprised that such a kind man employs someone who holds a negative view of farmers and was reluctant to attend a countryside wedding. My husband is quite disappointed in your actions, just so you know.
Wait, but you haven't revealed my identity to my boss, right?
I have. Why wouldn't I tell him the name of his unprofessional employee? Besides, he's already left, so I can't change anything now.
Why would you do this, though?
I need to head home before the traffic gets worse. Have a great day.
What on earth have you and your husband done, Cynthia? Your husband has gained significant control of a substantial portion of my company's shares. Why didn't you inform me about his significant influence?
What? I'm not sure what you're talking about.
My company informed me just this morning. They mentioned that your husband transferred many of my company's assets to another brokerage firm because he didn't want to see a substantial amount of money going to a company with employees he considers impolite, like me. You recklessly told him where I work. I can't even fathom what your husband has done. What will happen to me now?
Give me a moment. Throwing all this at me out of the blue is giving me a headache. I'm not him, so how can I possibly know what he's doing with your company? And how much money he's taking away?
That's why you need to speak with him immediately. Additionally, you need to clarify how he managed to afford some of my company's shares while being a humble farmer. Doesn't it strike you as unusual that a farmer like him has this kind of wealth and an understanding of economics?
It's not that unusual. Just because he's a farmer doesn't mean he can't hold assets in different companies and understand how they function. And who decided that he was a struggling farmer with little money in his pockets? He's a farmer with an annual turnover of nearly $7.5 million.
No way! 7.5 million? He makes that much every year. There's no logical reason for a farmer to earn that kind of money. You must be joking.
I believe your prejudice has led to this misunderstanding. My husband was able to hire numerous employees to assist with his farm, making it easier to run a larger operation. He also sustains everything on his farm using his own resources. And he has established his own brand for selling his produce. Someone at his level of business naturally earns a turnover of $7.5 million a year.
These must be a bunch of falsehoods. Him making that much money. I just can't believe it.
Well, you should start believing it because that's why he can afford all these shares. He always considers which major companies to invest his money in. But when he heard all the negative things you said about him and found out that you worked for a company he had invested in, he decided to move those shares in frustration.
What?
By the way, going forward, please refrain from trying to contact us about your workplace issues. My husband doesn't want to associate with people who show zero respect for those with a different lifestyle. And please don't bother attending any of our family events in the future.
I deeply regret everything that's transpired. I was unaware that your husband was in the process of negotiating a new contract with my boss. I made a mistake by acting rudely towards you, not knowing that Jake was engaging in business with my boss. I'm truly sorry.
Your apology is not necessary. Jake and I have chosen not to proceed with the contract involving your company. Just before the contract signing, we decided to start fresh.
Could you reconsider signing, please? My boss wants to establish a new department in our company using your vegetables. If you decline the contract, I may lose my job over this.
That's unfortunate. However, that isn't our concern.
But
Your termination doesn't affect us.
please don't shut me out and reconsider this. After all, I'm your brother's wife. You might come to regret this if you become the cause of your sister-in-law's unemployment and a tarnished reputation.
No, I don't think we will regret it. Even if we were to reconsider the contract, I believe your employment may still be in jeopardy. My husband insisted on renewing the contract only if you were no longer with the company.
What the heck?
You have no one to blame but yourself for his frustration. He didn't want to decline the contract, but he worked tirelessly to build his farm. And he doesn't want it controlled by someone like you. He started from the bottom to bring his farm to where it is today, with a dedicated team working alongside him. Throughout this journey, I've stood by his side, supporting him and understanding his struggles, so I can't blame him for his decision. Your mockery of his hard work and your anger when he didn't sign the contract leave me with no sympathy for you.
That's why I want to apologize for everything I said earlier. I'm so sorry that I'm willing to apologize on my knees before you.
Your words still seem condescending to us. You may not even grasp why you need to apologize to us and the entire farming community.
I do understand why.
To you, farming might seem like nothing more than picking vegetables, a low-income industry. But without work like this, your high-level jobs and all others wouldn't exist. Farming is a vital part of our society, providing the foundation for our food and survival. It's the hard work of farmers that keeps fruits and vegetables delicious and affordable. People who, like you, fail to comprehend the importance of farming and don't respect it are individuals we want no association with.
It's not like that, though. I've never spoken ill of farmers and the agricultural industry as you suggest.
Continue making as many excuses as you like. Nevertheless, we know that you and Richard will never truly appreciate our perspective. So forgiveness is out of the question. Please, just leave us be now. Right after everything that happened, it appears that Muriel was pressured by her boss to undergo an internship training program at a farm in a remote countryside location for approximately 1 month. However, after spending just about a week at the farm, she found it increasingly challenging to cope and decided to return to the main office to submit her resignation papers. According to the farm that allowed her to train with them, she had a low tolerance for even a small amount of mud, rendering her ineffective for the farmers there. In addition to that, my older brother was tasked by his boss to make amends for all the damage he caused to the company through his comments to one of the shareholders. I've heard that he is now burdened with 10 times the usual workload in an attempt to help the company recover. It seems he has had to work overnight on numerous occasions to meet deadlines and avoid being terminated. However, due to the immense stress of not meeting some of his quotas, he has lost more than 20 pounds so far. Any of the work that couldn't be completed on time was shifted onto his co-workers to assist him in catching up. Because of the difficulties he has created for his co-workers within the company, he receives cold stares from anyone he encounters, whether at work or elsewhere.